Welcome back, friends. All right, here's what's happening. In this video, I'm going to be showing the main wire harness routing in this Chrome Bumper C3 71. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do to make it easier to install this lower dash panel and the center lower dash panel or gauge cluster. The issue is you got to push this whole thing back, but then the wires are right there. They're right in the way. They get sandwiched between the back of the tack and the speedo and the firewall, basically, or the lower, the underneath the wiper bay. And that's just kind of ridiculous. The issue is if you pull the wires up on top here, where I think they're supposed to be. I mean, there's so much room up here. Why not just put them up here? But the problem is then when you put the whole loom up here, the main harness up on top, the wires that run down to the lower gauge area in the back, they get really tight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unplug all this. I'm gonna pull this whole gauge, the lower dash panel out with the speedo and the tack. I'm going to lengthen a couple of the wires, and I'm probably going to take some of this tape off too to kind of open up the wires back there so they can run where they need to run easier. And if I have to lengthen them, I'll lengthen them, but I want to do that now just to make this whole thing easier, because this might have to go in and out a couple times. I don't know. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is disconnect everything in the back of the driver's side lower dash panel and then pull it out. Let me show you what I've done here. So what I did is I made sure all the wires from the loom, well, first I unwrapped this a bit, and then this wire needs a little extra length because it has to go down the bottom of the gauges. So I just had it coming out a little earlier, so there's a little more length there. And then all of these were going over the front, which made it even longer to go down than if I put this on the top. They had to go this way and then around the back. So now I ran all the wires kind of on the back side. Well, it's actually on the front side in the car direction. But when this sits on top, and you'll see in a minute, I'm gonna put the dash back in. These will be going just down, the back. And then over here, I took this wiper, and I don't know why the wiper connector comes off of the main wiring harness over here and not out of this stuff where all the other wires come out. I don't know. Like, all the other wires come out here for the center gauge, except this one comes out. This 3-wire thing comes out over here. It's okay. It's when this is all in place, it's long enough. It's weird. I don't know why that happened. And then same thing with these wires. I just made them all come out the back, on the back side, so that they have more length in them. Now, I also noticed that there was no bulb in this one. I don't know why that is. I didn't see it fall out or anything, so I don't know. It's a mystery. And I'm not sure I have another one of these, so I might have to pilfer it from somewhere else. But I got to put a bulb in there. That might have been an oversight on my part. Reminder, when you put these illumination bulbs, and the illumination bulbs are the gray and pretty much gray, yeah, all the gray wire bulbs. Note that they're not all the same length. You have 2 longer ones and 2 shorter wires. So make sure you put the shorter ones on the top and the longer ones in the bottom. And you should be good with that. And then there's one other bulb. I think this is the turn signal bulb. And then there's like one for the brake, handbrake. I think it might be this one. But anyway, it's all marked on the back of the gauge, of the gauges. So I'm gonna get this back together. I also have the speedo running above this bracket, which I believe is correct, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you put this below the bracket you're not going to be able to get the dash panel up high enough. So this goes over, and the tack coming in comes right through here, also over the bracket. So I think that makes sense to me because they're about the same height. That's it. The side where the plug for the lights goes is pretty short. I wish this was longer because you can't really plug it in until you've got the thing like halfway in, and it makes it harder. If they just gave you a little more length of wire, it'd be easier. But I realized they didn't expect a Joe Schmo 50 years later to be doing the job that they were doing at the factory. So I guess that's fair. All right, so I'm gonna find a LED bulb somewhere and get this stuff back together. Okay, here's what we got going now. I've got the wires on top, and it's a bit easier. I gotta admit, it's definitely easier to plug in when the main harness is running above. It's still tight. I mean, you still have to kind of reach behind and do it kind of by feel. But each side, there's only two, colored wires that need to go top or bottom, and then the rest are the gray wires. So it's not that bad. And then on the bottom, over here, there's a solenoid right there. But that's pretty self-explanatory. And then what I did here is I put an extra ground right here, and that's gonna go right over there. And I just made this kind of connector so I can put that in, tighten it up. In fact, I think I'll do that right now. Just put that over there so that, just so this whole center thing is grounded a little bit better. So I'll tighten that up, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna reach back there and keep shoving stuff in as best I can. You kind of have to get under here and look up and see what you're doing, but it's, so it's way easier with the driver's seat out, obviously. And then once you get this kind of once you get these connected, you can shove this back, and then it's easier to plug this in because this is very tight. I mean, I can almost do it right now, but I'm gonna wait. So you kind of do this later on the side. All right. All the wires are now run in back from the main harness, and now it's over the top. And I gotta say, it is way easier to just adjust this panel in and out. What I did is I placed it, I clipped it up here with the clipped the main wiring harness up to that pinch weld. And then I just put this back about halfway, and then I went under here, and I hooked all the plugs up from the back, from the bottom. And that way, because then I can see them, I can see what I was doing. I can't show you because it's just way too cramped. And then I finished up hooking up the vacuum lines, and I hooked up my ground over there. That was not easy. I should have hooked this one up first and then just done this second. I sort of did it backwards, but I could take this off too pretty easy if I have to. So if you do that though, I would recommend the kind of, I don't know what you call it, but not the circle, but the like spade type connector. Anyway, let's see if this fires up, and I hope the tack works now. Let's see. Oh, the tack's not gonna work because it's not hooked up over on the distributor. I gotta hook that up. Let's see how the lights are doing though. Let me see. Let's first do the first position. All right, that looks good. Signal. And I've been having trouble with the left turn signal, but okay, there we go. We got left turn signal. Let's see if the e-brake works. No. Okay, something's going on with the e-brake wiring. I'll have to check the switch. One thing that is kind of cool right now is that the fiber optics, I put the fiber optics kind of near the bulbs. They're not even hooked up really, but they're just sort of near. And those work for now. Water temp, still wacky, not good. Let's check the headlights just to make sure. And I should, hopefully, will get headlight light. The vacuum was working before. Let me just drop this down a little bit. I'm not going to shut it, but let's see what's happening with the headlights. All right. I think one of these bulbs was burned out. Oh, maybe not. All right. I got to get a new bulb over here, though. This one has condensation. But whatever. I'm just trying to get this car running and rolling right now. Let's see if the high beams work. And if the high beam light comes on. Yep. High beam light came on. Let's see if the high beams are actually on. Oh, ho, ho. All right. Well, that's progress. As you can tell, the car is still idling high, and I'm getting some dieseling, which I'm embarrassed about. But that's the way it goes for now. I might see. I don't know what's going on with this, with the brake, with the e-brake light. That's too bad. I will have to check. That is the pink and tan wire. Maybe there's a fuse issue. Let's check the headlights going down. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Let's go back up. 1, 2, 3. Not bad. And go back down. All right. You can hear the dieseling that's about to happen. It's idling super high. I don't know why. I gotta check the timing and the idle. Okay, here we go. Diesel time. Well, first of all, let me see if I can just kick the idle down. Not really. And my alternator belt is still squeaking, even though I tightened it. Can't seem to get rid of that horrible screeching. All right. Yeah, it's so high. It's idling so high. I don't even want to shut it off right now. But I have to. All right, here we go. This is gonna be painful. Okay, not too bad. Not as bad as I thought. All right, I gotta hook the tack up, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Because it's in there, and I'm gonna keep this whole thing pushed in. Last time I was fiddling around too much in it, I pulled the tack cable out by mistake. And it is hard to get it in once this thing is pushed back. It's almost impossible. But we're making progress. The e-brake light is not the worst thing in the world to have not working. If I had to choose something to not work, that would be it. But I still need to figure out what's happening with the water temp. I mean, it's not even hooked up right now, right? There's nothing. There's the connector. So I don't know. Is it bad? It's kind of weird, right? It's just all the way up. I can't really take it out either without taking this whole thing out. So maybe I just have to pull this whole thing out. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but if I have to do it, I have to do it. All right, you guys. I'll see you later.